everybody, welcome back to Dragon Wing Diamonds, and I am here today with our first video of Sailor Summer. Just a heads up, there will be no giveaways in this video. We have decided to do giveaways strictly through the Discord server, so if you are taking part in Sailor Summer and you're not part of that, please make sure to join at the link below. We have a couple of prizes to give away throughout the event and stuff, and yeah, so yeah, this video is just for fun, you know? It's an event where you wanted to make event videos and such. This initially was not the plan. Unfortunately, Sophie's not feeling well, so I told her I would take on today, and that happened yesterday, so I literally had to throw something together. But it's okay. Hopefully she feels better soon and is back to her sailor princessness very quickly. Okay, so today I am working on Mars by Roy Trinh. I was doing, well, I still am. I'm working through the kits in order, or I'm working on the Sailor Moon canvases, Roy Trinh, okay, pause, words. I am working on the Roy Trinh Sailor Scouts in order of appearance in the show. And so I have already finished Moon and Mercury. So here I am on Mars. And this one was probably the one I was looking forward to the most. Ooh. And I stored her very badly, so she's got some drills popping up. So yeah, she was the one I was looking forward to the most, and then I just hadn't touched her for a bit, so here we are. Sailor Summer hit, and it's time to pull her back out again. So I am very excited to be working on this kit again. More so because, you know, when you usually have a kit that's a lot of reds like this, it's more browns than reds. This one is all reds, so I am loving it. So yeah. The accessories I am working with today, I have a pen from a company that's no longer open. I'm not gonna bother saying the company just because they're no longer open. I have my, can you see that? I have my Shire Shenanigans cover minder in my defense. The moon was full. I think this is kind of perfect because honestly, Mars and Moon are always nagging each other and such. And then I have my Pride tray from Bijou Bliss. I love this tray, it's amazing. And yeah, so that is what I'll be working with today. Oh yeah, and then for my ABs, I have this pen. I got it, it was given to me by a friend, so I have no idea where it came from. Okay, that's it. So, what I'm gonna do today with you guys, I have 15 things you didn't know about Sailor Moon, which the first one is comical, because everybody actually knew this, but whatever. What are you doing, little Artemis? My own Sailor Kitty has come to take part, or to hang out with me while I'm doing this video. And yes, Artemis is named after Artemis from Sailor Moon, and I'm hoping someday soon to have a black cat named Luna. Okay. Come on. Okay, so the first one, like I said, is very comical because anybody knew this. So we know our favorite outer sailors, Uranus and Neptune. Actually, Pluto is my favorite outer sailor, but you know. But yeah, Uranus and Neptune, according to this fact, they're supposed to be lovers, not cousins. I'm like, what? I think everybody knew, like, it doesn't matter because they changed the dialogue around from the Japanese version, but they did not change around the their mannerisms towards one another. So it's like, okay, yeah, it's very obvious that they are a couple. So I know our long-standing joke in the Discord is just we just yell cousins when we're talking about these two. But yeah. Oh, it's common knowledge nowadays, yeah. Yeah, so Sailor Moon Crystal definitely leaned into the relationship better, which I'm really glad about because representation is definitely important. And we just, it's yeah, it's good that they did not continue to try to go the cousin route with those two because it was obvious, y'all. It was just obvious. Okay, fact number 14, Luna is an alien, which if you watch the Sailor Moon R, I think it is, movie, that is touched on. Both Luna and Artemis hail from a different kingdom, and then there's another villain that, like, well, not villain, I'd say another henchman that comes from that area, their planet as well. So yeah, they aren't just moon beings, they actually are from a different planet. Did they say what the planet is? It was planet Mao. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, so Luna and Artemis came from planet Mao, and then their daughter Diana does not hail from that planet, of course, because she was born of the two of them in Crystal Tokyo. Number 13, Sailor Moon was inspired by Power Rangers. I definitely watched both growing up. I was a major Power Rangers fan, because I spent some of my weekends over at my cousin's house, and like we would watch the Saturday morning cartoons, and that included Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and, well, whatever saga of Power Rangers we were on that year. I think we watched through a majority of them. Sorry, I'm reading. Okay, yeah. So it looks like the inspiration came from the want to do an all-female team similar to the Power Rangers. And so the creator made Pretty Guardians. And honestly, I'm glad they did, because honestly, having an entire group of women who were strong and powerful in defending the world as superheroes was great for like my generation growing up, because you really didn't see that very often. Like, yeah, we had the Power Rangers, and then we had, I mean, only 2 of them are female, and neither, like, there's never a female that's in charge of the team. It's always Red Ranger, who's a guy. And like, yeah. And then there was the whole, you know, because Mighty Morphin Power Rangers stemmed from a Japanese show, and they literally took the fight scenes from it. So that's why the Yellow Ranger doesn't wear a skirt during it, is because that actor of the previous one was a male. And so, like, since they literally like copy pasted the fight scenes, she just had the pants instead of a skirt. So yeah, either way, I am always going to be thankful for our Pretty Guardian franchise. Ooh. So number 12, Sailor Venus is cursed. Let's find out what that curse is, because I did not fully read through this beforehand. Okay. Let's see. Sailor Venus, one of the 5 original Interstellar Scouts of the solar system, is truly the guardian of love. She's also one of the most badass characters in the Sailor Moon universe. It's a shame that she is cursed to never truly find the love she seeks to protect. Before making her first appearance in the Sailor Moon manga, Sailor Venus, also known as Minako, I know the answer to that, and had her own manga called codenamed Sailor V. Thus, Sailor Venus is the first Sailor Scout to be awakened in the present. Her masked heroine drama, she fought a villain named Kaitu Ace. The Guardian of Love defeated him, but Ace's final moment before death, he cursed her so she would never find true love. Yeah, but that was in a comic. So technically it doesn't sound like she is cursed, because that was actually in a comic book, not real life. I'm questioning the validity of that one. Oh gosh, I knew about this one. There was almost an American remake of the Sailor Moon series. But it never actually aired. Okay, so After a notably bad screening and poor audience response, the project was dropped. The television show was supposed to be a mix of live action and animation. Oh, weird. With all due respect, could have been pretty neat, but in the style of animation they chose, the goofy music, the entirely non-Japanese cast characters left a bad taste in the audience mouths. It would be fairly easy to make a show about American girls who are secretly superheroes without directly making an adaptation of Sailor Moon. So, yeah, I remember seeing a little bit about that. Yeah, I'm glad they decided not to do that and just brought the Japanese one to us. Okay. Number 10, each Sailor Scout had their own castle, which makes sense because they actually were all princesses of their own kingdoms. So each one had a castle on their planets. Was it on the planets? Yeah. I think he's moving over the wrong way. Guessing this came out before Sailor Crystal Stars ended. Okay, yeah. So yeah, they each had their own castles on their planets. I know the inner sailors spent a lot of time at the Moon Castle to protect Serenity, because that's what their duty was to protect the Moon Princess. The outer sailors each were kind of like ruling of their own areas and keeping track of their own areas. Like if you watch Crystal's, Sailor Pluto was literally forced to guard the door to time. And then I believe they touched on, in one of the movies, you do go to a couple of the outer sailors' castles. I do recall that. But yeah. Number 9, most of the Sailor Scouts are super well off. Let's see. Usagi's house is in a wealthy area. Oh, yeah, okay. Usagi's house is in a district, and just looking at it says enough. There's a 2-story home in an area where land is expensive and looks very well made. Her father is a photographer for a newspaper, which can be a pretty well-paying job. Mako, Sailor Jupiter, is able to live on her own from what seems like a hefty inheritance from her deceased parents' life insurance. Not to mention the mother of Amy, Sailor Mercury, is a doctor, and they also live in that area. However, this is really not talked about in the series, and there is some debate amongst fans on whether or not every member of the Sailor Scouts is wealthy. I mean, I feel like the reincarnation did well for them in making sure that they were well protected and stuff, because, you know, they are princesses, even though they weren't awakened. And yeah, Sailor Jupiter does have a part-time job to also maintain her lifestyle as well. Yeah, I think it's part-time because she's in school, so she can't do full-time. I mean, Ray is... I don't know if you can call Ray wealthy because she is a temple, like, she lives on a temple with her grandfather, so, like, she's spiritual. She's got her location there, but I don't know, like, I don't know if you can call her wealthy. But yeah, Amy definitely. Her mom's a doctor. And she's well on her way to becoming a doctor as well, because, yeah, that girl's smart. But I wonder how, like, I wonder if the reincarnation aspect of it kind of made sure that they were well off. Maybe that was like Queen Serenity's like last ditch effort to make sure that everybody was well protected while they were on Earth. I don't know. Okay, all the attacks are said in English. Can you scroll, please? Thank you. Okay. Before every intense attack from either Sailor Moon or the other Sailor Scouts, the name of the attack is powerfully proclaimed and is accompanied by a flurry of bright colors, exciting lights, and typical magical girl visuals. In the original Japanese language version of the show, all of the attacks are said in English, while the rest of the show's dialogue is in Japanese. The Japanese love for saying English words probably comes from the fact that even though English probably sounds like very boring and gunky to the native English speaker, it has sounds not usually found in the Japanese language and have an element of strangeness and fun to it. There is quite a bit of English in a lot of anime, whether it's because an English-speaking character is using the language or just because it sounds cool to Japanese audiences. Okay. I would have assumed that it was all said or Japanese was Japanese and English was English, but I am wrong. That is an interesting one. Yeah. Love using these bigger placers. Okay, number 7. Usagi's family members are named after the creator's families. Family, not families. And if this thing wants to work with me... Sorry, my tablet just woke up from a deep sleep, so it is running slow. I'm sure this thing needs to get updated so bad. Dude, can you... Bear with me a moment. It's not responding now, suddenly. Come on. Okay, my tablet's like really frozen up right now. So, just wait a moment. Wait for it to catch up. Yeah, so Sailor Mars is definitely my favorite. Oh, what happened here? So I was excited to get to this painting, and then it was funny because like I kind of stalled out on it. Maybe because I was like so excited, then I was like, oh my gosh, what if it's a disappointment? What if I don't enjoy it? Or like, or I just didn't feel like working on it. So here it is. And now I'm ready to push through it this month. And then up next is Jupiter, which I don't know if I'm going to start immediately. I'm probably not going to start Jupiter immediately because like initially this year of Sailor Moon was going to, like, I was going to try to get it done this year, but then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to work through them, and however long it takes me, however long it takes me. Like, I'm not going to rush to get it done this year. Of course, it just jumped right back to the top. Okay, Usagi's family named after the creator's family. Let's see here. Our favorite teenage Sailor Scouts family members include her passionate mother, Ikiko, her newspaper photographer father, Kenji, her goofball-loving brother, Shingo. All these family members, including Usagi Tsukino herself, are named after Nakao Takechi's own real-life family members. They haven't revealed which name is based on which family member in order to preserve her family's privacy. So yeah. Okay, this is not a fact. This is obvious. Tuxedo Mask is a mess. Yeah, we all know that Mamoru is a mess right now because he's gone through hell and back for his queen here. Okay, it's pretty obvious to anybody who watched more than a handful of Sailor Moon episodes. However, it's an actual solid fact that Tuxedo Mask, the alter ego of Mamoru, has both been kidnapped and brainwashed more than any other character in the show's history. This aspect of Sailor Moon is actually kind of cool. Tuxedo Mask is the only prominent male character in the series. He's also assuming the role of damsel in distress. In Sailor Moon, Usagi has to save his useless butt constantly out of every other character. But constantly out of any other character, Sailor Moon saves him the most. Too often, superhero-based films and shows feature a lone female character whose primary role is nothing more than a plot device that a hero can save from danger. It's cool to see the roles reversed, but we're also glad that Tuxedo Mask isn't just a vapid character either. He's funny, tries his best to help, and genuinely loves his magic girl partner. But seriously, get us together, Tuxedo Mask. Yeah, he keeps getting kidnapped. Yeah. I never really thought about that. Like, I guess, yeah, he is the one that needs to get rescued more often. And when all the events of Sailor Moon R were happening, like, he was the first one to get to go. Like, oh god, that movie destroyed me. It destroyed me so bad. Okay, Sailor Moon was almost made with pink/silver hair. This fact actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, how do you combine the blonde Usagi and raven-haired Mamoru to make a kid with pink hair? Early designs for the Sailor Scouts showed some pretty big differences between the final look of all the members, not just Sailor Moon. The most obvious one had to be Usagi's pastel pink hair. I don't see that nastiness. Okay. The Usagi's pastel pink hair. After that idea was trashed, she was designed as a blonde while in her human form, and silver-haired when in her magical girl form. Both original ideas were scrapped completely, and Sailor Moon was designed just as plain blonde. Nakako Takichi claimed that the change to solely blonde made Sailor Moon stand out more when she was in the group. This doesn't make a ton of sense, especially because her blondness, it makes her hard to distinguish from Sailor Venus at times. We would have loved to see the pink hair, but, you know, they know best. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad that they didn't do silver hair, especially because, you know, her mom had silver hair. And so, like, it just would have been like, oh, look, you're identical to your mom. You're a clone of your mom and stuff like that. So I am glad that they decided to go with the blonde instead. The pink would have been interesting, but would it have clashed with her uniform? Plus, I like the uniqueness also, because, like, Usagi and her mom have different color hair, and then Usagi and Chibi have their own different color hair as well. So I think, like, that combination of it, I like that distinction, personally. Okay. Sailor Moon Super S was almost a Uranus and Neptune movie. That would have been awesome. Let's see here. Okay, so Sailor Moon S is the story of Chibi Usa and Pegasus against the Dread Moon Circus, and the story of the villainous Amazoness Quartet, which, if you've seen that, you know the quartet ends up being Chibi Moon's Sailor Guardians. Season 4 was just as fun as the rest of the Sailor Moon series, but apparently the spin-off Sailor Moon Super S that came out in 1995 was supposed to be based entirely on the story arc between Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus. The director of Sailor Moon S tried to pitch an idea for the film that involved a focus shift of the two girls as they steal a talisman from Sailor Moon to try to awaken a Neptune god in a place called the End of the World. The producer apparently approved it, but sadly it never happened. Oh, that would have been so cool. There we go. Okay, number 3. The creator of Sailor Moon is just a one-hit wonder. So, she did not make anything outside of she didn't make anything popular outside of Sailor Moon, I should say. Let's see here. Can you, there we go. Okay. Let's see, her other works include Love Witch, Tokia Mecha, Prism Time, and Miss Rain. However, none of these works have matched the hit that is Sailor Moon. She's clearly a talented manga artist, writer, and storyteller. It's a shame that since creating Sailor Moon over 20 years ago, she hasn't created another hit series. She doesn't seem too worried about it, though. Not only is Sailor Moon still crazy popular, but the franchise continues to expand and pull in money. What do you mean it's still crazy popular? I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah. Okay, this one makes me mad. Sailor Mercury was supposed to be a throwaway character. She was literally the brains behind the operation. Like, without her, they wouldn't be able to function. So that kind of makes me mad that she was supposed to be a throwaway. Plus, Amy's just so sweet. Okay, these two, and I'll read that. Okay. Sailor Mercury, also known as Amy, was one of Princess Serenity's guardians and the first Sailor Scout to join Sailor Moon. Amy as a character has a sharp analytical mind and is considered the strategist of the group. Apparently, Sailor Mercury was intended to be a throwaway character with little visibility on screen or screen time. However, fans of the manga were singing her praises so intently that they decided to make her a more prominent character. There is a ton of reasons why Sailor Mercury was so popular. In Japan, children liked her because she encouraged and influenced them educationally. She has a smart big sister role model vibe that Japanese children really liked. She was sort of the sweet, fun, kind nerd of the group that cared about things like reading, doing well in school, and learning. She even mentions in the original series that Albert Einstein would be her ideal man. So yeah, I'm glad that ended up happening, because if she was a throwaway character, that would have been really sad. Because honestly, they did a lot with her. And yeah, she is the ultimate role model for kids and such. So I'm glad that they reared back on that one. Okay, and then the last Sailor Moon fact I have for you today is Sailor Neptune is more special than you think. What is happening with my drill placement this morning? It's morning. Okay. Sailor Neptune is more special than you think, and not because she's one of the very few LGBT characters in the franchise. Out of all the Sailor Scouts, Sailor Neptune was the only one to awaken in her human form by herself. She's also one of the only Sailor Scouts to possess physical abilities other than Sailor Mars. Not to mention, she's one of the only Sailor Scouts to not have her backstory of becoming a guardian revealed in the manga or anime. Other than her partner, Sailor Uranus, they also stated that Sailor Neptune is her polar opposite when it comes to personality. Okay, I see. Sailor Uranus gets a little love for her character, but she does have the most unique qualities compared to the rest of the Sailor Scouts. So, okay. And there we have it. Those are Sailor Moon facts. Yeah, which one was your favorite? And which one surprised you the most? I'd say probably the last one, because, yeah, I never really paid attention to the fact that her awakening story wasn't in there, which is crazy. So, that's what we got for today's video. If you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and throw me a comment. Let me know, are you joining Sailor Summer? What are you working on? And all that great stuff. And Natalie, do not say Onihime. Yeah, so, and if you're not already subscribed here and you like diamond painting content, please hit that subscribe button down there and hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos. I try to post on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Sundays, so definitely hit that bell to be notified. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.